review for The Duelist, directed by Ridley Scott. I believe his first movie that he did. Starring Keith Carradine and Harvey Keitel. Um, so it takes place in 1801, and there's a bunch of time jumps. Like 20 years of time jumps. And basically, Keith Carradine is a cavalryman, a hussar, which is like a light cavalry, and he's in Napoleon Bonaparte's army. So is Keitel, but he's a cavalry guy too. But they're not in the same unit. I don't think he's a hussar. I think he's something else. But um, anyways, Keitel is they're both in the Napoleon's army. They're conquering Europe. It's 1801. But in a movie opens on Harvey Keitel in a duel, kills this guy. It pisses off the mayor of Strasbourg, and then Keith Carradine gets complained to by, I think, his boss, like a general, and says, "Go find Keitel. He's under arrest because he killed the mayor of Strasbourg's brother. I think it was his brother." So he does, and Keitel gets really pissed at Carradine, and then Carradine's like, "Look, like I'm just a messenger. Like I don't know you. I don't care. I'm just a messenger." And he challenges him to a duel, and he doesn't want to really do it, but then he keeps insulting him, so he says, "Fine, I'll do it." And they duel, and then Carradine actually beats him and he cuts his arm open. And this sets off the rest of the movie where the Keitel just keeps trying to kill Carradine, and sometimes Keitel wins the duel, sometimes Carradine wins the duel. And it's like this thing where, he's like, "You have insulted my honor, sir." Like, he's like, I think he even says, Keitel, I think, like, I shall have satisfaction. Um, so, and they just keep fighting each other. Some great dueling scenes, beautiful photography. Um, it shows of things to come with Ridley Scott, but it's a very good movie. Very, very good movie. Very entertaining. Um, I'm also a big history buff, and this is a fascinating time in history. People were like this with the sense of honor that men had. It's very interesting, especially military men, which is what they are. And but yeah, great fights. Very well photographed. Different locations because it jumps from then, and then it's like 6 months later, and then they duel again, and then it's like a few years later, and they duel again. Um, Man, at one of the duels, like it's like Keitel almost takes a slice out of the Carradine's shoulder. I think you can like see like the skin just hanging down. It's just like brutal. Um, and then Keitel gets angry later because he also gambles, and they're gambling over arm wrestling, and he's losing, and he's like, "Oh, my arm never healed. The muscles never healed right from when that Carradine sliced him." So it makes him even more angry, and then they keep fighting each other. I think they duel like 4 or 5 times, and yeah, and then later in the movie they're in Russia, and if you know anything about what happens with Napoleon's army in Russia, it doesn't go well. And it's like there's all these frozen bodies of soldiers, and there, Keith Carradine notices that Keitel's there, and then they go, and Keitel's yelling at people. He wants volunteers to go take out Cossacks, which are like Russian kind of, not Russian, but it's kind of like subdivision of Russian cavalry, like specialize in cavalry. They're very dangerous cavalrymen, and they do, and they kind of you think maybe the dueling is over, but it's not actually. So, um, but yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. I've heard of it for years, and I've been meaning to watch it, and I finally did. Um, Keith Carradine's a pretty good actor. He's in Dexter. He's really good in that. Oh yeah, he is Wild Bill Hickok in Deadwood. Um, and his brother is David Carradine. Fortunately, he's dead. But what else is he in? He's in Cowboys and Aliens. Ugh. He's in. Man, he's in tons of stuff. The Duelist, Nashville, Southern Comfort. That's it. I was like, he's in some movie where they're like in the South. Yeah, Southern Comfort. Walter Hill movie. Okay. Um, as far as I can tell, Roger Ebert didn't review this. His website did, but I don't think he wrote the article, so just not really interested. But um, so Ridley Scott said that after he had directed anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 television commercials, he realized no one was going to approach him about directing a film, so he had to take the lead. Since his funds were limited, he used a public domain source for the story, commissioned the script for the movie on its own. Yeah, it says it's based on a true story. So that's interesting. So he knew of the story and commissioned someone to write the script. Because of limited budget, the film was entirely shot on location in France, England, and Scotland. No sets or building were built at all. Every building in the movie was an existing structure. Wow. There's some beautiful locations in this. According to the director's commentary, Albert Finney's payment for playing Fouchot, the Duke of Orient, was a case of champagne. His girlfriend at the time suggested him for the role. Oh, according to director's commentary, this film had attempted to mimic the luscious photography of Barry Lyndon, which itself had attempted to emulate the paintings of that film's historical period. Okay. I was actually thinking of Barry Lyndon in this because it's similar, because in that, for a while, he's a member of Napoleon's army. Um, I need to rewatch that. I don't know. I think I actually probably enjoyed this more, but that is more of a beautiful movie, I would say. But that movie was all shot with actual candle lit. Like there's no unnatural lights in that movie. Yeah, debut of Ridley Scott. According to Carradine, the film budget was so tight that one of the horse-drawn carriages had its rear half painted red and the front painted black, so it could double for two different vehicles. The duelists on whom the film's dueling lead characters were based fenced their first duel in 1794. The loser gentlemanly demanded a rematch. However, there was not just one more duel, there were 30 more conducted over nearly the next 20 years. Two officers fought in a variety of ways, horse mounted and on foot, with sabers, rapiers, and swords. Yeah, one of them is on horse. That one's brutal because Carradine wins that one, and he almost like scalps Harvey Keitel. Uh, Screenwriter in an interview said this was the inspiration behind Highlander. Oh, interesting. Okay, I could kind of see that. So it's the same screenwriter as the first Highlander, I guess. Iron Maiden's song, "The Duellists" from the album Power Slave, is a song inspired by this movie. Nice. Yeah, Iron Maiden's an awesome band. But yeah, I really like the movie. Oh, when Kevin Reynolds was hired to direct The Count of Monte Cristo, 2002, which is also set during the Napoleonic era, he chose Tom Rand as the costume designer based on his work designing these films' costumes. Yeah, great costumes. Crazy hats people wore back then. But I guess part of the logic of the crazy hats the cavalrymen wore was you could kind of see from far away what type of cavalrymen they were. You know, there's some logic to it, I think. But um, yeah, David Carradine's in a famous movie called Nashville from 1975. That's Robert Altman. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, they keep doing duels up until the very end. I guess it's some kind of spoilers, but it is called The Duelist. Um, Harvey Keitel is pretty mad in the movie. I mean, Carradine's more like kind of wants to put it in his past, but Keitel just won't let it go. He just will not let it go. So, but yeah, that's about it. Check it out, The Duelist, from Ridley Scott. Solid movie. Shows of things to come. Great eye for his camera work. Um, the costumes and the sets. Although it's all real locations, but great acting too. So, 1977. Check it out. That's it.